All right, let's talk about one of the coolest, most powerful instruments ever created, the electric guitar. Today, we're unlocking all the secrets you need to get an absolutely epic sound.
You know when you're listening to a song and that insane guitar solo kicks in? Or that super heavy riff just hits you and you're just like, whoa, how in the world do they make that sound? Is it some kind of magic?
Well, guess what? It's not a superpower and it's definitely not magic. It's all about the choices they make. And today, we're going to break down all the cheat codes so you can understand exactly how it all works.
Okay, let's jump right in. Chapter 1, the basic setup. You gotta think of this as the tutorial level in a video game. It's the stuff you absolutely need to know before you can even think about customizing your character and getting into the real action. So how does this thing even work? It's actually a pretty simple four-step mission. First, you pluck a string, and that metal string starts vibrating like crazy. Step 2, under those strings, you've got these things called magnetic pickups. They're basically tiny microphones that grab that vibration and turn it into a weak electric signal. Then, step 3, that signal zips through your guitar cable. And finally, boom, it hits the amplifier, which jacks up the signal and makes it super loud. Easy enough, right? All right, tutorial level complete. Now it's time for Chapter 2, Choose Your Character. In the guitar universe, there are two massive, legendary factions that are always battling it out. I'm talking about Fender versus Gibson. So what's the big difference? Well, Fenders, like the classic Stratocaster, are known for this bright, sparkly, sometimes even twangy sound. We're talking about the sound of guys like Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton. But then you have Gibson. They're all about that warm, thick, super rich tone. You know, that legendary sound of Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin playing his Les Paul, or the unbelievable blues of B.B. King. Seriously, picking one is like choosing your class in an RPG. It totally defines your whole vibe from the get-go. Okay, so you've picked your character. What's next? Well, now it's time to customize your gear. This is where the fun really starts. We're talking about leveling up and crafting a sound that is 100% you. Let's talk about the absolute heart of your guitar's voice, the pickups. First, you've got single coils. You'll find these on a lot of Fenders, and they give you that classic, sharp, bright tone that's awesome for blues or country. The only catch? They can pick up a little bit of annoying electrical buzz. That's where humbuckers come in. You see these a lot on Gibsons. They actually have two coils, and their job is to buck the hum, literally cancel out that annoying noise. What you get is a thicker, warmer, more powerful sound that is just perfect for heavy rock and metal. And it's not just the electronics. Just like armor in a game, the guitar's body itself makes a huge difference. The shape, for example, really affects how you play. See those guitars with two cutaways like a Gibson SG? That design lets you get your hands way up high on the neck to shred those high notes. The weight and even the type of wood change the sound too. A thick, heavy body like a Les Paul gives you this really full sound where notes ring out forever. Different woods can make the tone brighter or warmer. It all adds up. Okay, you've got your character, you've got your gear. Now it's time for the really cool part. Chapter 4, Special Moves and Power-Ups. This is all about unleashing your own unique style. Let's start with the ultimate power-up, distortion. You've heard this a million times. It's an effect that takes your clean guitar sound and just crunches it. It makes it gritty, heavy, and powerful. It is the sound of rock and metal. Think of it like this. Distortion is your guitar going into beast mode. Next up, a classic special move that's all about technique, string bending. This is where you physically push a string sideways with your fingertip. What does that do? It raises the note's pitch, making this awesome, emotional, almost singing or crying sound. It's probably one of the most expressive things you can do on a guitar. And if you want to play those heavy, driving rhythms, you gotta learn this move, palm muting. All you do is gently rest the palm of your picking hand on the strings right near the bridge. Instead of a long note, you get this tight, chunky, percussive chugga-chugga sound. It is literally the engine that powers thousands of rock and metal riffs. So we've talked about the characters, the gear, the special moves, but who are the players who mastered all of this to become total legends? Well, welcome to Chapter 5, the Hall of Fame. This is where you can really see how it all connects. Take Jimi Hendrix. He grabbed a Fender Stratocaster and just went wild with effects, changing music forever. Then there's Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin. He used that thick, heavy sound of a Gibson Les Paul to basically invent heavy rock. The blues master B.B. King made his Gibson, which he famously called Lucille, practically sing. And then there's Eddie Van Halen.
He just threw out the rule book, built his own custom guitars, and invented this insane tapping technique that blew everyone's minds.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Is that the electric guitar isn't just a piece of wood with some strings on it. It's an incredibly powerful and super customizable tool that lets you create a voice that is completely your own.
So think about it. Every single choice, the brand of guitar, the type of pickups, the effects you use, it all becomes part of your sound, your identity. We've just given you the cheat codes. So the real question is, what kind of sound are you going to create?